I've been stuck in the same routine for months. Wake up, work, eat, sleep, repeat. I needed space, air, a change. So I planned a solo road trip. Somewhere remote. Somewhere I could just disappear for a weekend. I packed my car meticulously. Sleeping bag, small tent, food, extra water, a first aid kit, and my camera. My friends had laughed when I told them. "You're going alone?" In the middle of nowhere, they said. But I didn't care. I wanted to be alone. The morning I left, the sky was a dull gray, and a faint drizzle had left the road slick. It felt perfect, the kind of quiet that makes you feel alive. I started driving north, windows down, music playing softly, the wind brushing against my face. For a while, it was exactly what I wanted. Freedom. Peace. After a couple hours, my GPS suggested a shortcut through a backroad forest. It wasn't on the main map, just a thin, twisting line on the screen. Something about it seemed off, but I convinced myself it would save time and look scenic. That's when things started to feel different. The road narrowed. Tall pines rose on either side, blocking most of the light. The further I drove, the quieter it became. No birds, no cars, not even the faint hum of a distant engine. It was as if the forest had swallowed the world whole. I had been driving for nearly 20 minutes when I saw movement at the edge of the road. A figure. At first, I thought it was a hiker or maybe a hunter, but there was no trail, no backpack, nothing to indicate anyone had been there. Then it vanished. My heart started to beat faster. Probably a trick of the light, I told myself. But I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Every turn of the road seemed darker than the last. The trees were taller, the shadows longer. The GPS signal started flickering. Then the radio cut out. Static. No music, no talk, just white noise. I considered turning back, but something made me keep going. A mix of stubbornness and curiosity, I guess. That's when I saw the first set of footprints. Not deer tracks, human. They were fresh, muddy, and led deeper into the forest. I eventually found a small clearing to set up my tent. It was isolated, perfect for a weekend alone. I unpacked, built a small fire, and tried to relax. For a moment, it felt like I had escaped the world. But the forest doesn't like silence. Around dusk, I heard it. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate, coming from the tree lean. I called out, "Hello." No answer. Only the crunch of leaves, closer now. My flashlight swept over the dark forest, catching nothing but shadows. I kept telling myself it was nothing. Maybe a deer. Maybe someone hiking nearby. But I knew, instinctively, it wasn't. I couldn't sleep. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig made me tense. Around 2 a.m., I woke to the sound of my tent zipper sliding open. My heart froze. I hadn't touched it. Outside, the clearing was empty, but the feeling of eyes on me wouldn't go away. I couldn't breathe normally. I stayed in the tent, clutching a flashlight, listening to my own heartbeat and the occasional whisper of the wind through the trees. Hours passed. The forest was alive with sounds I had never noticed in daylight. Branches scraping, leaves shifting, and then breathing. Slow, measured, almost human. Morning came. I packed quickly, refusing to stay any longer. The forest road stretched ahead, narrow and twisting. That's when I noticed tire tracks beside mine. Fresh. Not mine. Someone had been following me. Every bend made me jump. Every shadow seemed to move. I tried calling the police. No signal. I tried rationalizing it. Maybe someone was on a similar route. But the unease in my gut screamed otherwise. The road seemed endless. Each mile felt heavier than the last. I kept glancing in my rearview mirror, convinced I saw movement. A shadow at the edge of my vision. Then nothing. By mid-afternoon, the trees began to thin. Civilization was near. Houses, power lines, the smell of asphalt. A relief. But the forest's memory lingered. I stopped at a gas station to call my friends. I told them a vague story. A deer, strange noises, nothing about the footprints, nothing about the breathing. I didn't want them to think I was crazy. But deep down, I knew what I saw was real. Someone or something had been there. Watching. Following. Waiting. Weeks later, I still think about it. The figure, the footprints, the sound of deliberate footsteps in the night. I never saw anyone. No news reports. No other cars on that back road. Sometimes I wonder if it was someone testing me. Someone who knew I was alone. Or maybe something that lives in that forest, patient, silent, waiting for anyone foolish enough to wander in. I haven't returned. I don't plan to. But every time I drive near a forest, a back road, or an isolated clearing, my mind drifts back to that weekend. The one where the world went quiet, the shadows moved, and I realized I wasn't alone.